everybody. Welcome in. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started. I am going to have our keynote presentation get this thing started, but before they come on, I just want to do a brief introduction. So we are bringing on two creative powerhouses to start this thing off. They're going to give you an unparalleled VR keynote performance. We have a VR sculptor performance artist, Creatress, and she's going to be doing some VR art in real time for us up on this stage. We also have creative director and serial entrepreneur, Jessica Greenwald, and she's going to be giving our opening talk. So please join me in welcoming both of these ladies onto our stage.
GM, thank you to the Web3 SD team for putting this together and bringing this energy to San Diego and creating this opportunity for education in this city. I'm really excited to be here with all y'all. I love this city. I used to live in San Diego, and it's always gonna feel like home to me, not just because I recognize everything here, but because of the friends and family I have in the city. And that's a big part of why Web3 has become home to many of the people in this room. It's because of people. Because of the friends and chosen family that we've made through this space. And being here together while the foundation is still being built for this movement and this technology gives us all an opportunity to shape it. We have a chance to make this technology serve people on the planet better than everything else that has come before. And this kind of opportunity attracts amazing people. So while you're going through the day and enjoying the programming that this team has put together for you, I highly encourage you to meet everyone you can in this room right now. Because your next best friend or co-founder or new favorite artist is probably in this room. Fortunately for me, one of my favorite artists is here, and I have the pleasure of bringing her to the stage for y'all. As our introducer mentioned, she's a VR sculptor. She does something I've never seen anyone else in the space do. She creates 3D objects in virtual space to music while dancing, effectively blindfolded to the world around her. I don't know how she does this. I can't even do one of those things at a time. So please join me in giving a warm round of applause to welcoming Creatress onto the stage. Come on up, Creatress.
What happens when life breaks down?
Yes.
When there is systemic contradiction. My name symbolized all that was corrupt to society. His name symbolized all that was pure. And I was being held in the embrace of a man who was pure. And these inviolable sanctities were preserved in those 10 words. And it is the desacralization of all of these that has put us in the mess that we find ourselves. Isn't it true? Alas, it is much worse. A person may end up believing in anything. Think of what it is when God himself puts his arms around you and says, welcome home. life breaks down, when there is systemic contradiction. My name symbolized all that was corrupt to society. His name symbolized all that was pure. And I was being held in the embrace of a man who was pure. Think of what it is when God himself puts his arms around you and says, welcome home.
Ma douce France, this be my understanding? It's not your fault, I was being too demanding. Don't stop, come a little closer. As we jam, the rhythm gets stronger.
Technologic. Technologic.
That's how long I've been on ya.
All right, you guys. Please. That was amazing. Yes, please give it up for Creatress. That was such a beautiful display of what technology and creativity can truly do. That was amazing. I don't know about you guys. I had chills. I had tears in my eyes. That was gorgeous. We'll definitely get that finished product out on our socials. But yes, what a great performance. Thank you so much. All right, and welcome to all these new faces. I just want to give you a brief introduction of what Web3 SD is, and also I'm going to give you a bit of housekeeping. We are navigating a couple different stories of this venue space, so I'll kind of help you guys navigate that as well. So first of all, Web3 SD from day one has been really focused on just keeping diversity and inclusion at the forefront of this mission. And I'm really proud to say that our team has done just that. There should be no borders to enter Web3, and this conference is proof that there are none. And so I really want to give it up for our team and our sponsors for, yes, keeping that vision alive, definitely. All right. Let's see. So we have speakers on the first floor. This is the discovery stage, or this is the curiosity stage. And we also have speakers up on the 9th floor, and that is the discovery stage. We have a few signs that are going to help you get there. You're going to have to find the elevators in the middle of the library, and then you can head upstairs to that stage. You can find the agenda on web3.sd. So www.web3.sd. You can find that agenda. We're also going to be having workshops on the 8th floor from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So be sure to just keep that agenda up on your phone and check that out. Wi-Fi is going to be the SD library Wi-Fi. You're just going to have to do a little bit of a login, and you can access that. Please just keep your phones off. We like to give these speakers as much attention as we possibly can. We're really proud of this venue and these speakers that we brought in, so we want to just respect them. As well, I just want to give you a quick note. The parking garage does close at 6 p.m., so let's go ahead and try and get our cars out by then. But other than that, just have a great time. If you have any questions, there's going to be staff all around the event with these buttons on them, so go ahead and ask any of those awesome people your questions, and yeah, we'll keep things flowing. So I'd like to introduce our next speaker. This is Dr. Brooke Sheehan. She is also known as the Cryptopractor. She's a doctor, educator, investor, and leader in the space. She hosts the Dr. Brooke on the Block podcast and YouTube channel, and she's here to teach you about blockchain. So let's go ahead and welcome her onto the stage.
Good morning, guys. Hi. I've been told I'm restricted to this podium, so my energy can't be flown out all over the place. So here we'll be, but it'll be cool.
Awesome. Go ahead and play this. All right.
Awesome, guys. So welcome. This is the Web3 ecosystem, how blockchain, NFTs, and crypto all fit together. But before I get started, I want to ask a question. Who here is already invested in crypto? Raise your hand. So a lot of you guys. And who here hasn't quite taken the plunge down the rabbit hole? Okay, few of you. Regardless of what camp you guys fall under, I really believe that even those who are already invested in crypto will get a greater understanding of the entire space. And those of you who are not in the space will gain a lot of clarity. So all of us are going to gain clarity, conviction, and courage today after this presentation. So first off, how do we define Web3? We got to first define Web 1. Web 1 was the internet days where you can only read the information, right? People would put websites up and you could just read the information. You didn't interact with it. Well, with Web 2, with social media, with YouTube, with Facebook, all of those platforms, we now got to engage. We could show people our cup of coffee, what we were doing every single day. We got to comment on blogs and videos and those kind of things. But those companies, Facebook, YouTube, Google, all of those, they're making money off of the data they're collecting on our behalf. Web 3 is shifting the game. Web 3 is blockchain technology. Web 3 is allowing ownership of that data so that we can choose how that data is monetized or what we do with it. So before I get into the presentation, I want to give you guys an idea of who I am and how I got here. Madison briefly mentioned, yes, I am a doctor. You know, I did a lot of stuff in the financial world before going into chiropractic. And now I'm in the blockchain space doing both doctor and blockchain. So bodies and blockchain are my gig. But before that, like while I was in grad school, I had a classmate tell me, you gotta buy Ethereum, you gotta buy Ethereum. I'm like, are you flipping crazy? We're in grad school on student loans. Like, how the freak am I going to invest in some fake currency? I knew nothing about it. He could tell me nothing about it. Fast forward a few years, standing in line at SeaWorld with my daughter and engaged in a conversation with a real estate broker who was heavily invested in crypto. And I asked him, hey, what's the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum? He says, Bitcoin has no CEO, Ethereum does. What? WTF? Like, how does that help me in understanding this entire cryptocurrency game? Why should I get involved with that kind of understanding? All right, can you guys hear me okay? That was pretty wild. All right, so needless to say, we got on the ride. I didn't get a chance to ask him any further questions about that, but it just left me more confused than ever. Months later, I'm engaging with a patient who I've known for so many years, over a decade, and he's lying on my table for treatment. And he's like, Brooke, you gotta get into this token. You gotta get into this token. This is gonna be the next, He's all hyped about it, right? So many of the people in our world are so hyped on this cryptocurrency and we have no idea what it is. But you know what? I said, all right, Mike's drank the Kool-Aid. I'm just gonna invest $100. Not enough like to have skin off my back. I was okay with it. So I invested $100. And I checked his box and I went around about my day. Every few weeks I would check the app and I would like, oh, okay, see I'm up $7, down $7. Nothing big was changing, not quite the crypto millionaire that he was, presenting on the table that day. Until one day, a few months later, I'm at the grocery store with my daughter. Very, very random encounter. I'm in the grocery store and I get this strong intuitive hit to my chest. Buy more of that token. Buy more of that token. And I'm not standing up here to be all woo-woo, but I will tell you, I guarantee every single one of you in this room has witnessed a time in your life where you have that gut feeling about something, whether not to do something or to go somewhere or to talk to that person or not to talk to that person, and you trust it and you're like, thank God I did, right? And so in that moment, I spent the entire trip in the grocery store trying to navigate the app to purchase another $100. My $200 investment the next day turned into $1,500. That coin pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped, and I was like, holy freaking cow. I need to understand this space. I can't intuitively base all my investment decisions in cryptocurrency just on that intuition. I have to actually understand it. And that is what led me here to present day. I went down the rabbit hole deep and I was trying to put all the pieces together. I would watch YouTube videos after YouTube videos, listen to all these people doing different things, and still things did not make sense until I actually put it together. And that's what we're gonna get into today. So cryptos, blockchain, NFTs, we hear all these terms, DAOs, whatever it is. There's so many things, but how do they all fit together? They fit together like this. Blockchain is the foundation. Blockchain is what cryptocurrency runs on. It's what NFT runs on. It's what all of the entire Web3 ecosystem is built on this technology. Blockchain is where it's at. Blockchains hold cryptocurrencies, just to briefly state, as well as legal contracts, state identifications, and companies' product inventory. All it is a distributed ledger across the world that cannot be manipulated or changed. But we know there's currently 861 plus different blockchains right now, 861 different blockchains. So how in the world do you figure out which one to invest in? How do you even do proper research to determine what blockchains to get involved with? So this is an analogy I came up with, and I'm really proud of it because I think it really fits well. But if we look at the different blockchains, like different countries of the world, we know in the world today there's about 193 different countries. So for the purpose of this presentation, we're gonna take North America. North America, I utilized, and this is not investment advice, this is not telling you to get involved in any of these blockchains, it's just for educational purposes. But Ethereum as Canada, Solana there as the United States. Sidebar, Solana was named after Solana Beach here in San Diego, so that's why it's got the United States. And then we have Tezos down there in Mexico. But what runs these countries? How does the United States run? How does Mexico run? How does Canada run? It runs on its monetary system. So we have the Canadian dollar, the Federal Reserve note for the United States, and the Mexico peso for Mexico. The monetary system for blockchain is cryptocurrency. Those are the things that allow the blockchain to run, is that cryptocurrency. So when people are talking about Bitcoin's going to zero or all these things are crashing, you can hold conviction and courage through this storm that we're facing, knowing that blockchain technology is where it's at. All these cryptocurrencies, they're not gonna make it. There's 21,000 different cryptocurrencies out there. They're not all gonna make it. So now going into how do we go from 861 different blockchains to 21,000 cryptocurrencies? That doesn't make sense, right? Like if there's only 861 blockchains and there's that many currencies, that doesn't add up. Well, we have things called NFTs and decentralized apps. I'm not going to go into NFTs because Valerie's going to give a whole presentation on those a little later today, but I do want to speak a little bit about NFTs and decentralized apps that are built on the blockchain. So these are like companies or like businesses built in that particular country. So, they have, like, I'm talking about dApps, they provide like social networks, games, entertainment, different tools. It's no different than the apps that you currently have on your cell phones today. Those are centralized apps. You can use them on Google Play, you can use them on your Apple. They work simultaneously. So here's just, to present, we have Target here in the United States, we have Amazon in the United States, the local grocery stores. Those are all the different businesses. Each country has different businesses within them. People are not going to find Vons in Canada or Mexico. They'll find different type of grocery stores. But it's important to note that with the 21,000 different cryptocurrencies out there, there's a huge difference between what a coin is and what a token is. The thing that my friend on the table was touting was a token. I didn't know it at the time because it was just cryptocurrency to me, right? But now I understand the token he was touting was built on the Ethereum blockchain. Coins are the currency. Coin is like the Federal Reserve note for the United States. That is like the Solana coin or the Ethereum coin or the Tezos coin, right? Like a token would be considered like, think about Starbucks, right? Let's use the analogy of Starbucks. You go to Starbucks, you earn golden stars for getting your coffee, for doing all that stuff. Tokens are the things that operate the projects, or they're the currency for the projects. So different NFTs have their own tokens, different dApps have their own tokens, DeFi protocols have their own tokens. Tokens are what allow that ecosystem to thrive. It's like the star thing. Well, we know blockchains, okay, there's different countries, right? Solana, Ethereum, and Tezos in that country example. But how does somebody travel from the United States into Canada or into Mexico? They travel that way through bridges. The Web3 ecosystem has something called bridges to allow these siloed blockchains like Solana, like Ethereum, and like Tezos to be able to interact and talk to each other so that when a developer builds on one blockchain, they can actually allow their protocols or their things to be utilized across chain into different aspects. That's done through bridges. So just to keep with the analogy here, we have you travel by plane, by car, by train, by boat to get to all these different countries. That's how you essentially move through the blockchain Web3 ecosystem. All right, the famous DYOR, do your own research. If any of you have heard episodes of Dr. Brooke on the Block, you know I do not give any sort of token or any sort of coin that I'm invested in. I tell people, hey, come do some research. If you want to come to me with questions, we can go through it. But doing your own research is so pivotal in creating that conviction for yourself. You're not just being toyed around by the market and by your buddy telling you to get into some certain tokens. So on the first two screens right here, I'm showing you CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap is a great place if you want to just get started. You could see in that first little window at the top, it says coins, watch list, and chains. So you can research all the different coins, but then you can research them by, okay, well, what are the actual blockchains? Okay, you look at all the chains, these are all the blockchains listed, and the page keeps going down. And then you can break it down even further and look at categories. So like, who are the ones part of the Solana ecosystem, right? And you could click in there and you could see that right now there's 193 different tokens that are part of the Solana ecosystem. So if you feel very bullish on Solana, you can go in there and you can look at other different protocols to invest in. And then this last one really quick is just from the centralized exchange, Crypto.com. All of the centralized exchanges allow you to research the projects a little further. If you see something in the box that says consensus method, you know that that is a blockchain. So if there's a consensus method there, if it's blank, it means it's not its own chain, it's built on top of a different chain. We won't go into the consensus method right now, but I do have an episode on the podcast all about these consensus methods. So why is blockchain technology super important? And I'm going to present a case for blockchain technology for you guys to have that conviction. So the global blockchain market will reach $64 billion in the next 4 years. $64 billion. This is by an analysis by Market and Market that believe the major driving factors contributing to the rapid growth is because institutional investors are coming and there's a lot of VC money coming into this technology. Blockchain will grow at a rate of 85.9% from this year over the next 7 to 8 years, right? And this is due to the rapid digitization of the banking, personal finance services, and insurance sector that is going to cause blockchain technology to grow. Blockchain will boost global GDP by $1.76 trillion, guys, trillion dollars. Currently, the blockchain crypto space is sitting at maybe a little over $1 billion. We've been fluctuating under that billion mark, over that billion mark, over the last year with the bear market, but 1.7 trillion with a T by 2030. So if you're not already in the space, or if you're still very new in the space, you are investing, really consider that these numbers are continuing to rise, and we're still very early on no matter where you're at in your journey. So bringing it all together, we have 861 different blockchains. We can travel amongst those different blockchains via bridges. There's 21,000 different cryptocurrencies. That 21K is not the price of Bitcoin right now. We all know that, or most of us know that. And the businesses, or the things that lie on top of these chains, are NFTs, or decentralized apps. Those are like the businesses, to bring the analogy together. So here are some next steps. I have this cool onboarding checklist for those of you who may not be in, but complete this onboarding checklist. It's getting, an actual crypto exchange app downloaded on your phone, getting CoinMarketCap done, grabbing a wallet if you haven't already done that, and just watching cool videos. Like Whiteboard Crypto, I think, is a really great, they do all these illustrations, help you really kind of put your mind around it now that you have these fundamental pieces that I've given you. If you spend 10 to 15 minutes 3 times a week, guys, that's 45 minutes, not even a ton, but actually just kind of learning the stuff. I do have a mini dictionary called The Words of Web3, which I can get you guys connected to after this. But more importantly, number 4, have fun. There's so much opportunity out there. Opportunity is plentiful in this space. We get to freaking meet amazing, cool people in Web3. This is so incredible. So it doesn't need to be cumbersome. It doesn't need to feel overwhelming. It's just take a deep breath, turn on a podcast, turn on a video, read an article. There's so much to be had here. And I want to leave you with this. I'd rather be days, weeks, months, or years early than even 1 single minute late. The future is ours. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brooke. That was amazing. And I agree with so many of the sentiments that she had today. All right, I am going to be welcoming our next guest onto the stage. We have a fireside chat featuring Sal DeGuardia and Fari. So Sal is a founder and host of the Crypto Radio Network. He is a professional speaker. He's been in the broadcasting industry since 1995. We couldn't get him to MCs, so you guys are stuck with me for now, but he's going to bring a great fireside chat to this stage here. Joining him is a San Diego local Web3 community builder. She's an NFT artist, and she also founded the Self Love Club and the SD NFT Con. Before I welcome them onto the stage, I want to remind you guys we do have talks upstairs on the 9th floor. Those are going to be a bit more on the technical side. So depending on what you came for today, we have plenty to offer. Without further ado, let's welcome our next speakers.
Good morning, everybody. How's everyone feeling today? As we like to say, GM. Can I get a GM?
GM.
You guys can do better than that. Come on.
GM.
I know you can. GM. It's so good to be here with you, Sal, today.
So great to be with
I
you.
wouldn't rather be anywhere else on the a Saturday morning.
Me too.
This is incredible. I'm so glad. I'm so proud of, the entire Web3 SD team for putting together such an amazing event. I'm so excited.
Incredible.
Yes. So, Sal, you're a legend. I would love to hear a little bit about how you got your start in Web3.
You're far too sweet. Legend is strong. I got my start in Web3 about a year and a half ago, more seriously. So about 5 years ago, I tinkered around with a Dell laptop that I bought on QVC for $500, if anybody knows that deal. It's a sweet deal. Could not mine, Ethereum or Bitcoin or anything like that. I tried for like 3 days and failed miserably. So I put that to bed in 2017. But about a year and a half ago, I happened to, I had taken a break from social media consumption and popped open Instagram. Gary Vaynerchuk was the first person that I saw in my feed. And they were flashing these characters of what have now become VeeFriends. And he was saying, this is my Bugs Bunny, this is my Donald Duck. And this is gonna be an NFT. This is gonna be your ticket to VCon. This is gonna be your entry into my community. I've been following him for 10 years and I immediately put the pieces together of what that really actually meant from a few different angles. And that was really my first introduction into Web3 on a serious basis. So I jumped into his Discord. I was trying to put the cash together to buy my first NFT of VeeFriend. And as luck would have it, he happened to give me one of the first giveaways that he did of one of his tokens, Tremendous Tiger, that was a year and a half ago. And it's been amazing ride ever since. Yeah.
That is so impressive. And that's not the only way you're making history, right? You have the world's first radio network that is actually focused on 100% Web3.
Right.
That's incredible. You skipped Instagram, you skipped Facebook.
We
You're
did,
like,
yeah.
nah, I want mass adoption. So that's incredible.
Yeah, we did it a little bit backwards. So Crypto Radio Network, I come from a broadcasting background in Top 40 and before that, if you can believe it, there's like Christian Top 40, was really where I got my start. But I bounced around the Southwest a little bit, and I had been a year and a half ago when I got into space. I was working for Apple, and I was trying to figure out as popularity grew within some of the circles that I run with, a lot of the folks that are here in this room that have become really good friends and really family, you included, Fari. The thought occurred to me, like, what am I gonna do in this space, like on a long-term basis? What in my skill set actually applies? Because I'm not a coder. I could barely get like a photo to show up on a website, right, without copying and pasting the code from Google.
Right.
I don't really know the marketing side of that well from like a true marketer's perspective. But I've done some branding and some other things, and then it really hit me, and Brooke just touched on it. We're so stinking early. Adoption is in the NFT space is down in the single digits. In crypto, it's less than 20% adoption worldwide, right? And so who's gonna onboard the next 280 million people in the United States alone? And my thought was, we got to go get them where they're at. Yeah. So it's weird the way it happened too. As I'm kind of creating this thesis, somebody approached me and said, "Hey, I've got an open slot on a satellite that it's yours if you want it." And I said, "Sure, of course. I know exactly what I want to do with it." And we launched Crypto Radio Network. So we're growing in our syndication. We started with the flagship station in Chicago. It's on real, actual talk radio, like AM and FM talk radio, but also digital. So you're right in the sense that we didn't go hard digital to create a podcast. We really focused our efforts on creating a real radio, like real radio for the metaverse,
Right.
real radio for Web3.
And I think that's why it's so important to be, on so many different platforms,
Right.
not just Twitter, right? Not
Right.
just Clubhouse, because sometimes it does feel like an echo chamber, almost
Right.
as if we're, just talking to the same people, the same communities, and like, you know, the same people show up to the IRL events. I've seen you so many. That's how I met you, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here in San Diego, I think was the first time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, I'm gonna be in Phoenix too for the February one.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see
wait.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's incredible. I mean, you know, because you are speaking to so many people who've never even heard what Web3 is before.
Right.
Do you often get questions as to like the longevity or the stability of, you know, just the entire industry in general? You get futters?
Every day. Every single day. I get futters in both areas. So I get folks that want to know, like, why didn't you just do a podcast? Like, that would be so much easier. And I said, I know, that would be way easier. But that would be too easy. So I want to do it the hard way. But I really thought it was important to just kind of plant our flag, you know, in mass media to say, you know, Web3 is here. But so I get folks on that side, and then I also get the new folks that are coming in saying, yeah, but it seems so scammy, and you know, I heard, you know, NFTs are just a pyramid scheme, and crypto's not real, it's just for drug runners, and you know, dark web, and I mean, that's true for any currency, right? Not that that makes it any better. But the truth is, that's really what our mission is. Our true core mission is to help educate, really hopefully entertain a little bit, and evangelize the Web3 space to the folks that do either have misinformation about what the Web3 space is all about and what NFTs and crypto really are. Really, the technology underneath is where we try to focus our effort. And just try to make it an easy entry point for folks that maybe have some of those questions.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I take it that you actually have onboarding and educating initiatives
Of course.
within your radio show.
We've done a few different things. So, you know, we have a little fact page on our website that we started. Really what we're trying to drive is, because we don't want to give away all the punchlines right out of the gate, and we set up an 800 number in the whole 9 yards so folks can actually call in live to the show. Or we've done it on Twitter, where we've had a couple people that actually popped into Twitter and joined the radio show through. It's crazy the way technology works these days. So we're doing the radio show live, but we're also on Twitter Space, so we could bring somebody in that happened to be on Twitter to ask a couple questions, which was awesome. But that's really what we're hoping to drive is the conversation around it. So because there's a ton of great Web3 101 resources. You just heard about a ton from Dr. Brooke, and of course, Bankless Podcast. I mean, CoinDesk. There's just, the list goes on and on and on, right? So we didn't want to recreate the wheel. We really want to make it a true kind of safe place for folks to come and ask questions and you know, gain information that way.
That's what it's all about,
Yeah.
right? We have to be welcoming. We can't be gatekeeping all of this beautiful information,
Right.
As precious as it is. But if somebody wanted to find you and really listen, give it a listen, give your radio network like all of the glory that it deserves, where could they
Right.
find you?
So super easy, cryptoradionetwork.io is the website. We're on Apple and Spotify. We just found out we're number 8 in Mongolia. It's fantastic.
Wow.
We're very excited about that. So it's funny because on the digital side, we really haven't pushed it that much. In fact, we're right in the middle of pivoting to focus more on the digital side. But all the content's there, so yeah, you can catch really any of the shows. We got really lucky. The first month that we were on the air, we were in Minneapolis for VCon. We happened to be at a mansion party that a friend of ours threw, JDM Labs.
Casual, just at a
No big deal.
mansion party.
It was just a mansion party in Minneapolis. And Beeple walks in. So if anybody doesn't know who Beeple is, he's the one that sold the $69 million NFT last year. He just walks in and sits down and does an interview with us. It was amazing. So there's that and more on the website.
That's incredible.
Yep.
And what has been your favorite memory of doing your podcast thus far?
I mean, that's one of them.
That's one of them?
For sure. Because that was totally unsolicited. I mean, we didn't have that planned. He just walks in, and that was pretty incredible. But I think it's bigger than that. So, I mean, those opportunities are cool, and even in radio, I got to do some pretty cool stuff. But the relationships that I've been so blessed to grow and cultivate, right? Again, folks in this room, I was just in DC last month, last week in Vegas with, that's not to brag, that's just to say there's all these people like all over the country, really all over the world. Somebody from Sweden that happened to come in, and we both met up in Vegas. We didn't even know each other was going to be there, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, you're here! That's amazing."
And you follow each other.
And
right?
well,
Always.
we've become really good friends virtually, but
Yeah.
you know, to be able to see each other in person, that's the secret sauce that is unlike any other. It's weird, unlike any other group, like fraternity group or anything like that. It's the deepest and most meaningful relationships I think I've grown ever.
Me too, because I mean, there's so many of us who kind of just risk it all for Web3, and that takes like a very specific type of person.
Right.
So it starts off as really deep relationships, and it's always my favorite when I run into someone that I'm really hitting it off with, and then we go to follow each other on Twitter. Turns out we're already following
Right,
each other.
all the time.
Right? That's happened
Right.
so many times to, I'm sure, so many of you as well. It happens to me here in San Diego all of the time.
Right.
But yeah, that's so cool. I love that.
Is there anybody here, by the way, that is contemplating like starting a project in Web3, like wants to launch an NFT project or something like? So a few people, a couple, onesie twosies, people that are afraid to say it.
Yeah,
They're like, yeah, I want to, but.
it's a lot.
So
it really takes a lot.
there's one thing I would say, which is the don'ts. Like there's a lot that goes down in Twitter on DMs, right? In fact, Gary Vaynerchuk is one of the folks that talks about it all the time. Like it goes down in the DM,
down the DMs.
right? What I've seen recently, and I was gonna do it. I was gonna put up screenshots in the whole 9 yards and just go through like real time some of the DMs that I've gotten. But please don't do like, congratulations, you've been selected for our pre-sale list. Click this link and connect your wallet like
The
that.
worst.
I have probably, I don't know, hundreds, thousands at this
I had
point.
to close my DMs.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
There's absolutely there's a way to approach other people to partner and to try to get your name and your project out there. That's one way to not do it. The real way to do it would be, and this is what I've done repeatedly with other folks in the space, is I just look for opportunities to add value. So it's not about it's not about me or my personal brand or even the radio show brand. It's more, what can we do to amplify other people's voices? That's really the goal. And so I think even as a project leader, if you can find a way to do that creatively and partner up, even if it means partnering up with other projects, then I say, sure, absolutely open up DMs and start a meaningful conversation. But yeah, please don't mass message like 50,000 people and say, congrats, you're on our pre-sale list. We would like for you to buy our NFT.
Right.
Like that.
It's not that difficult to be
Yeah.
authentic.
Right.
Right? And that's what I love about Web3 and media is the transparency that's coming from our spokespeople, right? And you're
Right.
one of them, right? So it's
It's definitely shifting. I think that's the other thing too about this space that's so much fun is right now we're in that moment where things have cooled off and a lot of the hype is dwindling away. So now it's really it's your opportunity, it's everyone's opportunity right now to start building something meaningful. So meaningful utility tied to an NFT is great. Meaningful relationships with other projects, meaningful relationships with media outlets. So yeah, just knock on doors. It's kind of the old school, like stick your hand out and really try to meet people where they're at.
exactly, they say to, find a gap, find a problem, and solve it.
That's it.
And it's so incredible that you get to speak to people that, you could be just changing their lives while just on their drive to work.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
an honor.
what is the coolest thing that you've learned in your time in Web3? It doesn't have to be about media, it's
Wow.
just in general.
I mean, it's still the security. I think the truth is that there are folks trying to get a hold of your assets and your wallet every single day. And the coolest thing is we still have an opportunity and really an obligation. I think that's the piece of letting people know every single day and not forgetting there's new people coming in all the time to let them know, hey, here's the basics of security. Like, please don't give out your seed phrase. Please don't give out your password, even if they say they're from MetaMask and it looks legit. Don't do it, right? So just reminding folks of the basics in security, that's really been probably one of the coolest parts, is to be a part of that.
Right,
Yeah.
definitely. And what would you say to people who already have had a bad experience with, say, being scammed or rugged, which I'm sure it's happened to all of us at some
Right.
point or another?
Interesting. I've seen a couple of the big celebrities that have lost valuable tokens out of their wallet, and they kind of chalk it up to, look, it's my mistake. I didn't listen when people, like us said, hey, don't give out your seed phrase, don't let anybody, like my spouse doesn't know, right? Any of my information, like, right? So that will be like, an attorney needs to divulge that information, if and when I die. So, but I think I look at folks like Seth Green, for instance. He just picked himself up and understood like what it was. He made a mistake and he owned it and just kept moving forward. I look at those kinds of examples, and I'm constantly inspired. Just that we're going to take some knocks. Like there's going to be moments. We've helped tons of our friends try to get their stuff back, right, when it's been compromised.
Right.
And we're not always successful, right? But we do our best. We try to help out where we can, and just again daily reminding folks, like, don't take it lightly. Security is a real actual need to just be mindful of. It gets easy to get greedy when you start getting really convincing messages that seem really cool, and you won some cool stuff, and that's just not real. Yeah.
Basically, don't share your seed phrase.
Ever.
Yes. But yeah, I love that so much. That's
Yeah.
incredible. I think that we're coming up on our time over here, but it's been so incredible speaking with you. Sal, is there anything else that you wanted to share with our audience?
I think that's it. I mean, honestly, what I would say for Crypto Radio Network is, we're not here to convince anybody. As you go through your own journey, you're probably finding, or how many of us have already found with our family and friends, that it's tough you can't convince them, right? So that's where we try to step in and be that, that kind of neutral party where you could say, well, if you want to check it out, there's some good information here. That's really, I hope that's some of the gap that we can help fill too. So if you have friends or family that they're not interested in listening to you and they need to hear it from somebody else, like, we're here for you. We got your back. So happy to play that role too.
Yes, a huge part of it is just sharing our resources, right? And sometimes our loved ones don't really want to hear it from us. They want to hear it from other people who
None of mine wanted to hear it from me.
Right, yeah, same.
Yeah.
Like, I've personally had a lot of people in my life, like, know that I'm in Web3 and so deep in it.
Right.
And then, like, if they hear about NFTs elsewhere or hear a celebrity tweet about it, they're
Right.
like, okay, now they want to know about it. I'm like,
Right.
I was telling you.
Or Dogecoin.
Yes.
And then they came back, dude, I bought Dogecoin.
Right.
It went up. I made $40. I was like, cool. That's
Right.
awesome.
And I have one last question for you, just
Yeah.
for anyone who might be new to Web3 or just Web3 curious. Is there any advice that you would give to somebody who's very interested in Web3 but doesn't really know how to get started?
Yeah, I think as a consumer, you're probably going to hear this a lot today, like, do your own research. That's first, right? First and foremost is get familiar with the platforms like Coinbase and Binance, and get familiar with different wallets, whether it's MetaMask or any of the others. And part of that, it's going to take some time, right? So whether it's 10, 20, 30, 40 hours of research that you might want to do before jumping in, that's okay. That's allowed. Don't just take our word for it, right? So seek out other content creators that are putting out great content too. On the consumer side, I think on the creator side, right now is a pivotal moment of really creating meaningful projects around community and utility, and adding the NFT onto that. So it's not necessarily an NFT project first, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, and that That's all I'll say for that.
Right,
So that we can move on.
definitely. That's
Yeah.
great advice. Well, thank you so much, Sal. It was such a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you, Fari,
It's
so much.
incredible. Yes.
Appreciate it. Do you need these here? Take them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you two. That was a really great fireside chat with tons of good content. I definitely agree with doing your own research, but yeah, using your resources as well. We're just gonna take a couple minutes to get our next slides ready. So just hang tight while we get Naja ready to go.
All right, good morning. They're going to get my slides up, but before